Hey everyone, welcome back to Cody Tarot. I'm your tarot reader, Cody. In today's pick a card, we have a message you're meant to hear right now that's specifically meant for you today. So if you came to this reading, this message is meant for you, especially if you see one of these crystals and one of them calls out to you pretty strongly. That's a sign that this message today is meant for you. I'm glad you clicked on this video today. Thank you so much for clicking on it. And without further ado, I'm going to show you the crystals. This is a pick a card video. So basically after I show you the crystals one by one, you're going to select one of the crystals and then follow the corresponding timestamp in the description box, which will lead you to your reading. So without further ado, let's get into the crystals. So first crystal we have here is Labradorite. It's like a whitish Labradorite. So that's group 1. Group 2 is Vanadinite. That's group 2. Group 3 is the Candle Quartz. That's group 3. And group 4 is another Labradorite, but it's a darker Labradorite. So we'll call this one the dark Labradorite Heart. The other one will just be the light Labradorite. So that's the dark Labradorite Heart. And then last we have this blue Azurite. So there you go. Those are your groups today. Please take all the time you need to select your crystal. There's no rush. You can always pause the video here if you need more time to tap into your intuition to figure out what crystal is for you. And then with that said, we're going to get into the reading, starting with group number 1, the Labradorite. Remember, pause that video here if you need to, and I will see you guys in your piles. Hey, group 1, this is if you picked the light or lighter colored Labradorite. So we will get into your reading now. I'm going to pull some oracle cards, then pull a couple tarot cards, and then we'll get right into your message you're meant to hear today. So let's start with the Oracle of the Seven Energies deck by Colette Baron Reed. Let's get a card. Okay, Roots of Abundance. Cool. And let's get a Citadel Oracle card. This is by Fez Inkwright. It's the Citadel of Fantasy Oracle. I'm not going to remember to introduce. Okay, there we go. We have the Pilgrim. And I also want to get a Chakra Love card. This is by Katie Mekashaw. Okay. I'm going to get one of these Chakra Love cards. Any want to come out before I draw one? Let's see. Looks like I'm drawing one. We're taking this top one. So this one says throat chakra, sodalite, vulnerability. Showing vulnerability is a sign of strength. The back of it looks like that really cool indigo color. So I'm going to put that right there. And then we'll get some tarot cards for you guys. What tarot cards need to come out to deliver the message Group 1 needs to hear today? What message does Group 1 need to hear today? What tarot cards are going to help me deliver this message? We have the Empress, we have the Ace of Pentacles, we have the Two of Pentacles, we have the Three of Swords, we have the Wheel. You know what? I'm going to take reversals today. I decided I'm taking that reversal. Feels right to take reversals today. Okay, let's see what you guys got going on here. Okay, I'm briefly covering the readings tonight. Not doing too much in-depth analysis. I'm just going to start reading based on a few instincts. Essentially, it's a little bit different than I normally. It's not going to seem that different probably to you guys, but like it seems different to me doing this reading. Okay, so first we have the Ace of Pentacles and Roots of Abundance. This talks about some kind of new beginning. And with the Empress here, this is a new beginning that has either been blessed to you by a maternal figure in your life or someone who's very beautiful. Most likely a feminine energy. But the message meant to come to you today is that this feminine energy is going to bring you this new beginning with Ace of Pentacles here. There's this feeling that you're going to start a new job, you're going to receive some kind of income or some kind of, the vibe that I'm getting right under Roots of Abundance with the Ace of Pentacles being the seed, right? And then the tree growing out of the ace right above it. there's a strong vibe that whatever seed that is being given to you at this time by this particular maternal energy or feminine energy, could be sisterly as well. It could be someone who's a peer that's a woman as well. So don't count that out. But there's a strong vibe that whatever this new opportunity is, it's going to grow really strong and sturdy roots. I do think that this reading is about an opportunity in general. The Ace of Pentacles is really the strong focus here. There's either, for half of you, there's a feeling of you already received this opportunity and it's just begun, and you're getting started on it and you don't know where it's going. You're curious about what's going to happen with this new opportunity, this new business opportunity. For others of you, you have been a long time without some kind of project, and the Ace of Pentacles is talking about a new project coming into your life or a new seed for roots of abundance. Now, the interesting thing is this project or this activity, we have a pentacle as the seed, it's an ace that's a pentacle, and we also have roots of abundance, which just to me indicates that you're setting a strong foundation for the future. Especially anytime I see a tree or roots, plants tend to grow slower than other creatures or animals, or like, for example, if you see a card about abundance or money and it's like there's images of light on it, light goes really quickly. It's instantaneous. Light passes from the sun to the earth pretty quickly, but it takes a long time for trees and plants to grow. It's almost like not able to be perceived with the naked eye. So it's one of those things where this is a new business opportunity, and you're setting the roots for a secure foundation, but you might not realize that in the future, these roots are going to be so thick and grounded and solidified that you're building this really strong sense of security for yourself. So if you've came to this reading and you've been craving a sense of security in your life, you've been craving something that you can depend upon, this is that sign that you will be getting that thing that you can totally and completely depend upon. You'll be receiving that foundation. This is a foundation too that I want to say will not topple over like in the typical Tower card. The Tower card talks about something crumbling because of an unsturdy foundation. This is going to provide a foundation that you can build upon for sure. One thing that I am seeing, there are some notes about this particular activity or project. I think at this time, there's a strong vibe with the Pilgrim here where it says opportunities and growth. And we do have the light here, the lantern. It's funny, I talked about the light and the sun. We do have the lantern here. So I do think that with it talking about the speed of these things coming in, how quickly they'll come in. With the Three of Swords here, there are a few people that have either hurt you or are weighing you down or holding you back. I think if you let go of these people, this seed will come in quicker. I think that if you struggle and you hold on to these particular people in your life, and you'll know who these people are because I'm sensing for a lot of you, these are painful connections. You really kind of want to let them go. I'm feeling for some of you, there could be more than one, like a particular group or a specific organization of friends or something like that. And they're really holding you back a little bit. This is saying the less time you spend with them, the more your opportunities for growth are going to increase. And because we have the lantern here, think of these friends as being like barriers that are creating shadows. So you're holding up this lantern to your new opportunity, and you have these friends standing in the way of the light that's shining onto your path for your future, right? You're not seeing your path forward because, first of all, the friend is standing in the way. So the light's shining on your friend, right? You're giving all your blessings and your goodness to these people that may or may not be deserving of your, generosity as far as like your light, your specific light that makes you shine. So what I'm seeing here is with these people out of the way, the shadows get removed and you can clearly see your path forward. I do think the universe is blessing you with a lot of abundance at this time in general. I think there is that major opportunity coming in, that's that major seed that's being planted. But at the same time, there is more opportunities for growth and for your progress in this world coming at the same time. With Two of Pentacles and vulnerability, I am getting the feeling that if things get a little out of hand, trying to balance all these activities and new events coming into your life, being vulnerable with someone and opening up about how hard it is to balance these things could be beneficial. You could get some really good advice. Also, with these new things coming in with Roots of Abundance and Ace of Pentacles, this woman that's providing this Ace of Pentacles energy, this person is very abundant themselves, right? The Empress kind of represents a woman who's also very abundant. Also, this world is in her stomach. I do feel like this person's very worldly at the same time. Very worldly with the moon energy here, very intuitive. So this person may have been or seen a lot of the world that's offering you this opportunity. They also could have somewhat of an intuition on them, or not even just an intuition, because the moon card can talk about instincts too. So this person has strong instincts. I am seeing if you're vulnerable with them and open with them, vulnerability in this connection is a sign of strength, and I see that attracting this opportunity to you. I also think with the throat chakra, learning to speak your truth, and with vulnerability here, even if it's a gentle truth, or even if it's a truth that feels like you're sharing a weakness with someone, could be beneficial in receiving this opportunity. I think your honesty is going to be prized at this time. With Three of Swords here in the Wheel of Fortune, I am seeing some of these people, these connections are causing you a little bit of like poor fortune in your life. You might realize you have a few friends in your life where the more you hang out with them, the more unlucky things get for you. And it's one of those things where I am saying there's like a change of fate with these friends coming for you. Especially with the Pilgrim opportunities for growth, it's pretty much that some people that are blocking your path forward. Like with the light that you're shining, they're blocking your path forward. This woman's also holding a flower, so I do see that this could be a delicate situation with these friends. I'm not by all means just saying like, oh, cut them off and leave it at that. It might be a delicate way of dealing with the situation that is required to have these people step out of the way for just a second for you to get your good opportunities in life. It just is also showing me too, with the heart being attached to this person, your empathy for these people is more of a burden at this time than it is a advantage, if that makes sense. It's almost like these people are weighing you down a little bit. Like it's like you have a few friends that are more negative or something, and they're kind of weighing you down in a sense. Yeah, and remember the rose here talks about budding and opening up and blooming, essentially. And the light is offering these roses like sunlight, essentially, to bloom and grow. You have a lot about growth, and you have a lot dealing with plants and growth. So the trees, the roots, the ace with the seed, and the pilgrims with the flowers around the pilgrim. There's a lot about blooming, budding, growth, and plant energy is very much similar to pentacle energy. It's very much a steady, secure type of thing, right? It's a very much a long-term type of thing. So I do see that a lot of things that are happening to you right now could be things that stay in your life for quite a while. I do think you're at a major turning point, you know, and I do think that even if it gets confusing, like, okay, you have all these opportunities, right? You might not know which opportunity with the Ace of Pentacles here is the seed that's going to plant those roots of abundance. With Two of Pentacles here, this talks about juggling different activities. I do say just try out all the activities that come your way. You might have a few different opportunities, as long as it doesn't get too hectic, right? And I remember if it does get too hectic and you do get overwhelmed by trying out all these opportunities, remember talking to a close friend with vulnerability here could help bridge those feelings and get them out in the open. You know, sharing your vulnerability can be helpful to healing. With opportunities and growth and the Two of Pentacles, just try them all is basically what I was trying to say. Put your foot in every door that you can possibly. I do think that one of these opportunities is going to be long, how to put it, is going to last for the long haul, basically. So I really think you guys have a lot of good blessings coming for you in the future. We have strong feminine energy in general. We have like 4 women on these cards, and so I do see strong feminine energy. Your opportunities might have to deal with women in particular, or with Empress here, this is strong like divine feminine energy, or you might be dealing with a lot of like women in those opportunities, something like that. Roots of abundance is also the root chakra, and there's a number 2 here. I want to point that out, that 2s could be significant, seeing 222. We also have the Two of Pentacles right here. 2s and 3s could be significant. If you're seeing a lot of 3s and 2s as angel numbers, that could be significant. Also, yeah, with the root chakra here, remaining grounded in this period could be very beneficial. Remaining grounded, but speaking your truth excellent combination here that I'm seeing could be very, very beneficial. Constantly reaffirming to yourself that you are of this earth. You are in this incarnation. You are meant to be a human body on this earth. That is your physical expression, and reminding yourself of that and knowing that you can always speak your truth at any time to help yourself heal. And also grounding is going to help yourself heal in this time. Yeah, for some of you coming to this reading, you're already going through a lot of this and you're not really sure where this opportunity is going to be landing, like which one's going to be the one that takes off and creates the roots of abundance for the future. So basically it's one of those things where it's like one of them will, and one of these, like, I think these will naturally fade away in a sense, like with the Two of Pentacles, with the what's it called, the bag or the purse that's the ghost purse versus the real one. There's a few of these activities that it's good to try them out. It's good to experience them because you're trying to, it's like a trial and error period where you're trying to see what sticks. Like, what do I want to do? Do I want to do this? Do I want to do that? So I do see a lot of creativity in general in this reading. You could even be getting some advice from friends about this kind of, be aware, this kind of contradicts my last message about, when I talk about being vulnerable, that's talking to a person that you really trust, that you can just open up and share your feelings. But with the Three of Swords here, there's a possibility that you only need to share your feelings. You don't necessarily need advice. Because one thing that I'm seeing here with the Three of Swords here is some of these friends that are, their advice could be eliminating opportunities for you. So for example, they could say like, oh, don't try that out. That's really difficult. Or don't do that. Why are you going to do that when you already have this going on, right? And a lot of these friends are going to be trying to limit down or narrow down the opportunities that you're able to do, is kind of how I'm seeing it. And what I'm seeing is I feel like this is a time to just be creative and try a lot of different things at this time. I think that's going to be really beneficial. I think things will also, even though your friends are looking out for you in the best way possible, these activities will fall away naturally. Some will feel a little unfulfilling, some will feel really fulfilling. You know, that's how you're going to know which opportunities are the right ones for you in this period of time. I do think, just side hint with the Empress here, a feminine energy is going to be offering you the opportunity that's going to grow the roots of abundance. So that's just a little side hint for you guys. I'm going to end your guys' reading there. I really enjoyed reading for you. Sorry, my nose is a little snuffy today. You guys probably heard me like sniff a little bit. But yeah, it was an honor reading for you. If you liked the video, please like or comment below. If you really enjoyed the video and you resonated with my energy, feel free to subscribe to the channel. We're always welcoming new subscribers here at Cody Tarot. And with that said, I'm going to end your reading. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye-bye. Hey guys, welcome. If you're group 2 and you picked this Vanadinite, this will be your reading. In advance, apologies for the air conditioning in the background. I've been watching some of my videos, old ones, and I was like, man, that air conditioning is super loud. So I apologize. It is super hot in my house, and I haven't figured out a way to get it cool without the air. So it's not late enough at night for me to just open the doors to the house and like let the cold air come in. So you guys get to deal with the air conditioning. It'll probably turn off at some point during the reading. Okay, let's get into your reading. Messages that you need to hear right now came to this video. Our first deck we're going to be working with is the Oracle of the Energies, 7 Energies by Colette Baron Reed. So what card needs to come out for group 2 for the message they need to hear? Oh, we have 2 actually. I pulled 2. I didn't mean to pull 2, but I did pull 2. We have a Tall Tale and the Storyteller. Okay. Let's put those like that. We're going to get a Citadel Fantasy Oracle by Fez Inkwright. Do you guys mind if I like label the decks in the video? I feel like just vocally all the energy I want to put into just making the predictions instead of like extra stuff like intros. And let's see what you guys have. We have the King, Control, Reversal of Fortune. Interesting. I don't know. Let me know if you guys need any of the extra talking, because my favorite part is just doing the readings, right? Like making the predictions, doing the readings, getting into the flow state of that. I really don't like the extra stuff, like having to talk about comments or subscribers and stuff like that. I know it's so easy. Like it's just something easy to say, but I get so tongue-tied with it. I don't know why. Okay, let's see. What is coming up for group 2 for their message? We have this card. I think this is Rhodonite. It is Rhodonite. So that's what the card looks like. Your card says love. Love is a verb, so make it your most treasured action. Wow. Okay. I think I know what I know what that card is about. Let's get some Light Seers Tarot cards, and then we'll get right into your reading. It's so funny as I sit here tonight doing these readings. My ears are doing this kind of like ringing underwater feeling thing, which is so wild. But I'm just going with it, you know. It started before all the readings tonight, so let's see. What needs to come out for group 2? Let's see. We have 8 of Swords, Ace of Wands, 8 of Wands, the Tower, and Strength reversed. I'm gonna move these around a little bit just so we have more room here and it looks cohesive. Let's see. Okay. There's a lot going on here. Hold on, this is gonna take a second to look over. There's a lot going on. Okay, first what I wanna say, just to get these numbers out of the way, for this reading to resonate, obviously you need to hear more of the juice of the reading, but I'm getting out something about the numbers. We have an 8 of Swords and an 8 of Wands. The storyteller, the 17 boils down to an 8. The 35 boils down to an 8. That's 4 8s in this reading, besides an ace, and the other 2 are major arcana. There's strong 8 energy here. Sometimes I see 8 energy as a few different things. I see 8 energy as working with groups, like groups of people. Sometimes I see it as really strong, focused, determined energy. And other times I see 8 as abundance in general. So if any of those messages resonate for you, feel free to claim them, feel free to take them. Let's get into your reading. There's a few things here. I'm getting some vibes about career or passions. I'm also getting some vibes about love, specifically how you're interacting with other people. Yeah, okay, so let's start with your oracle cards first. We have a tall tale in the storyteller. This just indicates that coming up soon, there are going to be some situations around entertainment, storytelling. Here's the thing. Some people coming up soon could be saying things that seem so, like, not real. Because we have a tall tale here, which talks about someone saying something that, or telling a story basically that seems like too good to be true. And I think at the same time, these cards are urging you to not tell stories that are too good to be true as well. So whether you're the one that exaggerates stories or whether it's your friends or something like that, there's a feeling that there might be a feeling, especially with this broken sword here, there's a feeling of needing clarity on something, needing clarity on a specific information that you're receiving coming up shortly or something like that. And it could be that a specific person or someone is saying some information that you're thinking is not accurate or seems very, you'll notice this because it'll be like exaggerated. Like it won't necessarily be that they're lying to you. It's just that the story's very exaggerated or there's a special detail they add into it that might not be an accurate fact. It's like, it's definitely filtered through their perception of the story, if that makes sense. And also this is warning you guys to not, to be careful of doing that yourself, right? Be careful of exaggerating things yourself because it could be misperceived in this time period. That's just, I mean, there's a lot of disjointed messages here, but I'm going to get into all of them. With the Ace of Wands, this talks about using your third eye to figure out what's the truth in a situation. So basically, I mean, she's closing your eyes here, but it's not necessarily what you're not seeing, it's what you're not hearing, right? You might be hearing information that contradicts how you feel a situation's actually developing. Trust your intuition is correct. Your instincts are correct on what is actually developing. Other people's advice or words, essentially, or advice on the situation could be exaggerated or filtered through their own perspective. I'm specifically seeing, like, I don't think advice is necessarily bad at this time. I think if you rely on specific people for advice, the advice could be objective. but the stories that are being told to you right now are very exaggerated, right? So this could be also a time where if you're watching a lot of pick a cards on YouTube, because we're here, right? You guys are watching my channel, right? So if you do watch other pick a cards on YouTube, you could get a reader that is telling a very exaggerated story of what's going on, and what's really going to happen in your life is more of a watered down version of that exaggerated story, right? So you might find a lot of readers coming up in your life that really exaggerate the effects of the reading. Nothing wrong with that, right? Like sensationalism really can make an impact and get us to remember that information. But at the same time, and it makes memories, right? Which is good for future events because you'll remember the reading, right? But at the same time, it might not play out exactly as it's foretold, essentially. It might be an exaggerated story of how it's played out. So be aware of that. With the Ace of Wands, use your intuition. Basically, you have to remind yourself, how have events actually played out in my life? How do events normally play out in my life? What's basically going to happen here? The reading most likely is accurate, but it will have some exaggerated aspects to it or something like that. And this applies for friends telling you stories about someone. For example, if you're asking if someone has a crush on you and your friend comes back to you and says, oh yeah, they are like head over heels. They're so ready for this. There might be a little bit of an exaggeration there. Maybe the person just expressed some simple interest, like, yeah, they're cute, I could try it out, let's see how things go. And that friend is like, oh, they never say that about anyone, they're really serious about you. So it's kind of getting exaggerated, right? The story's getting exaggerated. So with Ace of Wands, use your own perception, use your own intuition. In this way, if it's dealing with friends exaggerating to you, maybe finding a reading about like what's really going on in a certain situation could be beneficial. With the Eight of Swords, there's also a feeling that there's a strong feeling with it dealing with the body image, with this woman looking in the mirror and the thoughts swirling around. You could actually be telling yourself some pretty tall tales about your physical appearance, right? You could be spinning a story in your own mind that you are either, I'm getting both here, so keep that in mind. You're either telling yourself you are like really hideous, or something is really wrong with your appearance right now, or you look really bad or something like that. And these are very exaggerated claims for your appearance. On the other hand, some of you are actually looking at your appearance and you are having these really, how do I put it? You're overinflating your own looks in a sense. So this could go both ways, right? It could go to really, and it could go back and forth, honestly. It could be one of those things where it's like, you're really low or down on your looks, and then the next moment you're really high and you're like, I'm amazing, I'm super attractive, I'm this being of power, right? And so there could be this oscillating effect. And remember, these things are literally tied to your thoughts and your thought perceptions. And you're kind of spinning taller tales at this time with your thoughts. So it might not be the best time to really analyze your body in a sense, right? So for example, I would put off coming up soon, especially if you've noticed your friends are still exaggerating a lot in your outer environment, or you're noticing you're getting more exaggerated readings from tarot readings and pick a cards. I'm not quite sure when this period will last. With Eight of Wands, it could only last like 8 weeks is kind of what I'm seeing. But it might just last for about 8 weeks or something like that. For some of you, it's going to last 8 months, but I really doubt it. But basically what I'm seeing is like, just be careful of, the truth could be a little more misleading in this period. So for example, you might be really accurate about something about your body, but you're spinning such a tall tale about it that it might be blown out of proportion. So what I was trying to say is postpone any if you guys are thinking about getting any kind of surgery about your appearance or something like that, I would definitely postpone it, especially if you get a strong and sudden urge to change your appearance. Especially if it's something that's more life altering, like that goes for a long time, like a tattoo or some kind of plastic surgery. If you're really just trying to dye your hair or whatever, like who cares, right? No one gives a crap. But basically, if you're doing something that's more like, if you're thinking of getting like an X's tattooed on your arm or something because you're feeling strong, powerful memories for them or something like that, that could be a story you're spinning for yourself that might not always be accurate, and further down the line, you might regret getting that tattoo later, right? So I would postpone getting any tattoos. I would postpone in general, like just know that like tall tales are being spun right now, whether it's in your own mind or outside yourself. I do see one cool thing about this with the double wands energy here is this will be an enjoyable time period. With storyteller here, it's all about entertainment, right? Just let yourself be entertained by these stories, right? It's supposed to be lighthearted and fun, this period of your life coming up. It's not supposed to be really serious, or you make serious or momentous decisions, or feeling really weighed down by certain things, you know? I definitely think this is supposed to be a fun time. With Eight of Wands, I do see an action-packed time. I see a lot of events happening for you, a lot of parties, a lot of activities going on with different people. I do see a lot of stuff coming into your life. One thing that I am seeing, this is kind of a little side note for your love life. I feel like you guys have gotten into the habit of trying to control the outcome of love situations. I'm at fault for it too. Like, if I get a crush on someone, I will try to analyze their astrology and stuff to see if I'm like a match for them and stuff. Because I'm trying to look for long-term relationships, right? Like something that's going to last. But for you guys, it might just be almost like controlling their actions or controlling the timing of events, something like that. Like, oh, I really want to meet up at this time and place, or I really want to, you could, in a way, and I'm not really sure how this plays out because I don't necessarily know if I do this necessarily, but I definitely think people do this. You might be trying to control feelings or emotions by using specific games or something like that. The cards are urging you not to do this. This is a very transformational period of your life where literally the purest form of love is the only solution to these situations, right? And this also talks about, in general, letting things go with the control here and reversal of fortune. I'm seeing this as more of like a warning card. I feel like you guys are in this king energy right now, and you're feeling very dominant. You're feeling very much like, well, if I'm going to have the love of my life, I got to make it happen. So I see you guys controlling outcomes, trying to push for your way, something like that. But the more you push and the more you try to control your lovers, your love interests, you're going to have a reversal of fortune, right? It could even get to the point where, and remember, this is just a warning, right? You don't have to follow this path. This is a warning in this reading. This does not mean this is going to happen. It means you're leaning into these tendencies, and you will know because you'll be aware of it if you're already leaning into these tendencies, and you're trying to control outcomes essentially. And with reversal of fortune, it's just going to make things go backwards, right? The more you try to hold on, the more it's going to slip through your fingers, right? And with the Tower and the Strength card here, I'm seeing that, it's not a time to build certain structures for the future with the Tower card. In fact, certain structures are going to be removed in your life. And with the Strength card here, I am just seeing in general, like it's not the time to play the strong one. It's not the time to play the tough one. It's not the time to play the controlling one. It's not the time to play the logical one. The king is not the vibe here, essentially. And this is the tendency you're falling into. But I am seeing this is kind of a period of time where there's going to be a powerful lesson about love. Now, here's where we're going to get into this cool card. This is the direction that the cards are urging you to go in to kind of learn this kind of like life lesson. It's kind of like a life lesson coming up for you guys. But it says, love is a verb, so make it your most treasured action. So, for example, instead of trying to use actions to control people in relationships, do something loving for them. If they are trying to not show up to an event, let them go. Let them not do it, right? Let them do their own thing, right? If this person is not texting you back, let them not text you back. Move on to someone else, talk to someone else. Love is a verb. So every person you meet, you have to think in your head, like, how can I be the most loving towards this person? And I think that's really going to pave the way for a really powerful transformational experience at this time in your life. I mean, I'm definitely seeing the next 8 weeks, and 8 showed up a lot in a lot of these cards. So there is strong vibes of like, it's possible too with 8 here, you guys are going to have, a lot of abundance coming up in this time period. Then at the same time, it's possible you're going to be dealing with a lot of groups of people at this time period. 8 is a strong, powerful number right here. And because we have swords and wands, I'm not seeing this lasting that long. I'm seeing it's like an 8-week thing where, every tarot reading you get is this exaggerated version of your life, right? And you're just like, whoa, that is blown way out of proportion, right? Or the thoughts you're having about your body are very exaggerated, the thing I want to tell you about this time period is just let it pass. Okay, that's the air conditioner coming back on. That's confirmation. Let it pass. I mean, there's a lot of things. You can have a lot of fun in this period, right? I think that if you really listen to your within voice, right, like the voice in your head, as far as like, I think with the people, the stories outside yourself, listening to the voice within your head, and when it even comes to your own body and stuff like that, you could try to listen to your intuition to temper these thoughts. But I know sometimes that's hard for people because they're both coming from within sometimes, and so it's hard to tell the difference. But one thing that you can do to help this body image thing is just to not get a tattoo, not get that surgery you've thought about. Health surgeries are fine, but your perception of your body, what you see when you look in the mirror, is not accurate at this time. I wouldn't even look in the mirror, to be honest. I mean, do what you got to do to get ready for the day or whatever, but I would not spend too much time like looking at your own appearance because you are not seeing it clearly. That's all I can say. Anyway, with the Eight of Wands here, one thing that I am seeing is a lot of activity, a lot of fun. I think you're going to have a lot of blessings coming in. I mentioned abundance or money, but this could just be general blessings from the universe or divine intervention in specific parts of your life. You could have a more spiritual connection in this period of your life. Also, with the love card, that I just want to go back to that real quick before I end your reading. It says love is a verb, so it makes sense to use love as your action, right? Do something kind for someone, instead of trying to get them to do something for you or control their response or control what they're doing for you. Because the king orders people around, right? The king is someone who is in control, right? The king is someone who controls the masses. I think you guys have this ability, but sending love out to people and doing loving and kind things to people in this particular period of your life is going to really affect you profoundly. And I think it's going to change your perspective on love in ways you couldn't even imagine. With reversal of fortune, you're going to notice the more you try to control situations, the more things go against you. That's natural in this period of time, just so you know. You're not meant to build foundations. You're not meant to control the outcome. You're not meant to be the strong one. You're meant to be the strong one in the sense that you're the most loving and kind one in the room, but you're not meant to be the one that's like the controller or the dominator at this time. This might be hard for some of my viewers because I know a lot of you, I do a lot of readings for you guys, and oftentimes I do readings and people that come to my channel are very dominant individuals, they like that sense of control in their life. They like knowing what's coming next. They like having that ability to manipulate the outcome and have that outcome come to them. This is a time to learn the lesson that kindness can, in some situations, trump that control, and I do think over time you guys are going to learn more about this loving energy, and you'll integrate it more into your life, and it's going to help you find a relationship in the future too. So keep that in mind, and so specifically with love, to try to not control the outcome. With that said, I'm going to end your guys' reading there. Thank you guys again so much for letting me read for you. I'm sorry this one was a little disjointed. That's just how the energy came through. There was like messages here and messages here, but if you guys like that reading, please like or comment below. If you really enjoyed this reading, feel free to subscribe to the channel. We're always welcoming new subscribers here at Cody Tarot. And with that said, we're moving on to the next group, group 3 with the candle quartz. Thank you guys again so much for watching. I will catch you in the next one. Bye. Hey, group 3. This is if you picked the candle quartz. So let's get right into your reading. Yeah. So... Okay, so let's get a wisdom of the Oracle of the Seven Energies for you guys to see what message needs to come through for you right now. What do you need to hear? What message needs to be said? Beyond the Ordinary is your first card. And let's get a Citadel Fantasy Oracle by Fez Inkwright card on the table for your message. And we have the Assassin. Cool. Okay, I'm going to get a Chakra Love card. Okay. We have this beautiful painting of a crystal. And it's malachite. Forgiveness, you'll find freedom in forgiveness. Okay. I'm going to pull some tarot cards. Let's see. With this Light Seers Tarot. I like how when I shuffled the forgiveness card, just like fluttered about. Let's see if it does it again. I want to see if it does it again. Okay. Was able to flip it over that time. Anyway, I'm having too much fun with this. Okay. So let's get your cards out on the table. We have the Fool in reverse. I'm going to take reversals today. The World in reverse, the Eight of Pentacles in reverse, the Page of Wands, and the Chariot in reverse. Okay. Wow. Okay. Let's get into your reading. I got some of the cards down, but I really feel like I just want to dive into it. You guys with Beyond the Ordinary here are going through a very trippy time in your life. I'm not really feeling hardships so much as like just tripping out. Like tripping out in the best way possible. I think you're really learning a lot about life and existence. And specifically, I think you're in a very interesting cycle in your life where you are experiencing magical things that are that are beyond the comprehension of most human beings. I'll say that. They're beyond the comprehension of most human beings. I feel like some humans have felt these things in their life, but you guys are, for some reason, are experiencing this kind of new magical state of mind right now. Beyond the Ordinary talks about a little bit of a breakthrough. 4 and the 5 break down to a 9, so 9s might be important to you. The number 9 might be important to you in some way, shape, or form. But Beyond the Ordinary just really reminds me that you guys are going through a period of time that's not what you're used to, but at the same time, it's very magical, right? It's beyond what is of our ordinary reality. You could be learning experiences from like metaphysical teachers. Maybe you found the right teacher or something and they're teaching you a whole bunch of new stuff and you're like, whoa, this is really clicking. It's really getting into my head. Maybe on the flip side of that, you're discovering your own spiritual nature through your own understanding of things. And that's what's really clicking in your own head. You know, you're really deciding for yourself what's going on. We even seen the Assassin card in the skull here, a third eye, right where the skull is. I do think a lot of these feelings or these experiences, these unordinary experiences, in a way with the Assassin here, I'm almost saying they're creating a sense of stealth in your life, or like wanting to stay hidden or wanting to stay obscure or something like that, or wanting to be in the shadows, right? I think that there's a strong vibe here with the Assassin of getting really target and focused on your goals with the conviction and the ruthlessness here. I'm also seeing a strong energy that this is a step, this Beyond the Ordinary card, this what you're going into, what you're transferring into is a step into a different sense of self, of yourself, if that makes sense. There's a few things coming through here. And I want to get into the Forgiveness card because this is coming through as what you're growing into, really, and the Assassin's kind of what you're leaving behind, essentially. I do feel like with this energy, with this powerful energy from the Beyond, there's a strong vibe that this is going to have an effect on how you viewed people from your past. To the point where, honestly, like with the Assassin here, with the conviction, I'm seeing you guys have this strong conviction that, you know, whoever's hurt me in the past, like this person has really deeply hurt me and I'm not going to forgive them and I'm going to leave that there, right? Like, I feel like you guys are the types of people who, you know, fool me once, you know, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me, that kind of vibe, right? I feel you guys are pretty ruthless in your judgments of others for what they've done to you. And here's the thing. I'm not here to judge what other people have done to you. I mean, only you can do that. And you guys have done that. And maybe it's justified, right? Like it feels almost justified. Like the things that people did to you were could have been so unforgivable. There's just no way you could possibly forgive these people, right? is kind of what I'm seeing. Or there's something about what someone did to you that was just so unforgivable, and the vibe I'm hearing too is with forgiveness. Maybe you guys have felt trapped in a sense because of this situation or what that person did to you. With forgiveness here, it says you'll find freedom in forgiveness, and I fully believe that. Now, before you guys get ahead of me and be like, well, that's not going to happen, that's never going to happen, right? I do see with the Eight of Pentacles in reversed here, it's going to happen over time. There will be a point in your life, in this lifetime, where you've evolved to a level where you are ready to let go and forgive these people who hurt you. And sometimes hurt isn't necessarily like a logical thing, right? It's not like, oh, logically these people hurt me, and so forgiveness is not just about like, oh, I forgive them, so the thought goes away, right? It's a process of healing. It's a process of development. It takes cycles of these experiences in order to release that hurt, right? It's not just about forgiving the person, right? It's also about releasing that hurt. It can be about forgetting as well, like forgetting what happened with the person as well. And you guys might be thinking at the same time, like, I don't think I'll ever forget what happened with this person, what they did to me. But I really do feel like with this powerful energy, especially with this very powerful, supernatural, beyond the ordinary energy, this is your first like deep dive baptism, essentially, into a world where forgiveness is possible. And the reason you're experiencing all these surreal feelings right now is to show you that there's a realm or a dimension outside of your mind, in the sense that you have a world outside of your own private hurts and feelings and experiences of wounds that you've received in this lifetime, right? And that's kind of the vibe that I'm getting here. There's a very strong vibe of letting go of a sense of ruthlessness and conviction about past hurts. And with the Assassin here, I'm almost getting revenge with the blades, or being surgical in your approach to cutting specific people out of your life. And maybe that was like, deserved, right? But I am saying, even if these people are out of your life, forgiving them and having a sense of forgiveness towards them somehow really transforms you in the long run. And this is just a message to point out that you may think at this point in your life, you will never be able to forgive these people. These people have hurt you so badly that you will never get over it. The truth is you will. You will reach such a high and elevated vibrational state that with this Eight of Pentacles, in time and through many cycles transferring into this state and out of this state, into this state and out of this state, it's going to be a purging of this kind of sense of, how do I put it, feeling of being burned by these people, right? As kind of the vibe that I'm getting. Okay, so let me get into the tarot cards here, because that was really much this. I mean, they kind of dipped into this a little bit, but this is giving a little bit of a timeline, essentially, of what's going to happen with this sort of forgiveness thing. This is kind of different than some of the other readings we've had so far, but I'm just going to get into it. So with the Fool card here, right now, you're meant to be in this position of not necessarily being in full control of your life, if that makes sense. Like, I'm feeling for a lot of you, you're being just shuffled to one thing, to the next thing. The universe is really taking control and guiding your life at this point in time, right? There's a lot about fate happening to you, right? Like things that are beyond your control that just happen that you have no control over. That's kind of the vibe that I'm getting with the Fool card. Because when I get the Fool upright, I get the freedom to move, the freedom to impulsive, the freedom of choice, the freedom to do what you want, the freedom to just be in motion. And here I'm feeling there's almost like a sense of a trust fall into like the universe, essentially. With the World card in reverse, I am seeing there could be a period of honestly like hunkering down, similar to the Hermit. But I'm also seeing in general, you guys starting to see a bigger pattern to things with the geometric shapes here. There's a feeling of seeing bigger pattern to things and coming full circle. What I'm seeing specifically, it doesn't really have to do with the World card, but it's making me think of this, and so I'm just going to go with it. My intuition is telling me that with the World card here, there's a feeling of coming full circle to the memory, the hurtful memory, and seeing it from a different angle. How would you have reacted differently? How would you have changed that? How would have you would have stepped in if you were a third party. How would have you stepped in and stopped the situation from happening or something like that? Or how would you have affected it? There's a feeling of coming full circle. And with the World card here, there's a feeling of epiphany or seeing the underlying structure of the event. I mean, this is getting really deep. This reading is getting deep into the veins of like destiny itself, destined events that happen to us, why those destined events happened. I really feel you guys will be coming to a deep and complete and life-changing realization about the event. I don't know if you'll be at the point where you can forgive the person yet. You might be, but I definitely think you'll come to a realization of why the event had to happen in your life. There's some event in your life that's coming in the future that makes you, and maybe you guys have experienced this recently, and that's why this reading's resonating so much. It's like, I just experienced this full circle moment with the pain that I dealt with, right? There's a feeling of coming full circle, seeing the reason why this painful event happened. Yeah, with Eight of Pentacles, I do see time is going to affect this situation, right? Many like moon cycles and stuff like that is going to, I think with Beyond the Ordinary, the more you get tapped into this otherworldly experiences, I do see it might shift with the moon. Like maybe on a full moon, you feel a little more heady, spacey, something like that. And then on the new moon, you're a little more grounded. I don't know which moon cycle would apply to you. It might have to do with where the moon was at your birth, when your birth time as the start of this cycle or not, when you're looking at the cycles of the moon for this. But basically with the Eight of Pentacles here, it's talking about just in general healing through time. With the Page of Wands, I do see that this leads to a more liberated state, a more childlike state. I feel like you guys are the types of people who you've had a lot of hurts in this lifetime, and it's left you with the ruthlessness and conviction. It's left you really like firm in your judgments towards others, and it's left you pretty ruthless as far as like what you will and will not tolerate. As far as behavior from others. But I do see as time goes on, you gain a more childlike sense of joy. Essentially, like there's this childlike sense of joy and letting go and feeling freer and feeling, I think you guys are going to be surprised because you're the type of people that, how do I experience it? Like in health and earlier in life in health, like you might have some health problems like when you're younger. And then when you get older, the more liberated you get, the more you let go of certain things, the more you let go of certain painful events that happen. And the more you like start to forgive people in your life, there's a feeling of like a weightlessness or a burdenlessness. Like, well, that's not a word. Just feeling without burden. You don't have any more burdens. There's a feeling with the Page of Wands of just being free, lighthearted, childlike, passionate, engaging. This is kind of the energy of like and this is interesting that this is coming as your master energy, right? This is the growth point, is in a way to return to innocence, is kind of how I'm seeing it with, in a way you're regaining your innocence as well. With the Chariot card here too, at the very, very end, this is a really cool vibe because this is going to the very tail end of your life, essentially. With the Chariot being with the horses running this way towards the reading, there's a feeling of when you're at the end of your life, looking back at all of it in kind of like a fast-paced action or something like that, and seeing where you've come from, seeing where you went to. I think you're going to be one of the few people, especially with this Beyond the Ordinary card, you guys are tapping into some kind of surreal spiritual energy, and I honestly want to say it's going to be very unique to you guys. It's one of those situations where it's going to be very hard to find other people who are in the same exact vibe you're in. It's like you've tapped into your own private, secret, intuitive world that other people don't quite understand. And you're like seeing things for the first time, and you're experiencing things for the first time in this like brand new fantasy world. With the Chariot card here, life is going to show you this, like when you get to the end of your life, this is before you die, by the way. I know this happens in a lot of afterlife experiences when people die and then maybe they come back to life after they've died. They have like this flashing of their life, where they see everything. I think you guys are going to get this moment while you're still conscious before you pass on. And you'll have this ability to look at all the things that have happened in your life, very similar to this full circle with the world card, right? And see all the life lessons each event brought you, all the learning opportunities each event brought you. In a weird way, you guys become you become like how do I put this? You're very innocent and childlike, especially in your old age. There's a feeling of being like fun-loving, innocent, passionate, but at the same time, there's a wisdom about you that even though you have a vitality and a freshness to your energy, in old age, there's this wisdom about you that gives you a quick memory that can access any event in your life without holding on to grudges about that event. So that's your reading. I want to keep it short and to the point. I'm trying not to repeat things in this reading particularly too much because I want all the points to be, I don't know how to put it. I just want the reading to, it's just different how I do my normal readings. I think that it just needed to be different in this way. And yeah, remember, one thing I will repeat is remember with the forgiveness, you'll find freedom in forgiveness. That's going to be one of the major things that's going to be happening in your life. Forgiveness is also about letting go. It's about letting go of hurts in your body. It's about letting go of hurts that people have done to you. Yeah, and I think that creates this vibrant personality. So with that said, I'm going to end your reading there. Like I said, I don't want to repeat too much. Sometimes I go back and make points over what I've covered, but I don't want to do that in this reading. With that said, I'm going to end the reading there. If you guys like this reading, please like or comment below. If you really enjoyed this reading and you resonate with my energy, feel free to subscribe to the channel. We're always welcoming new subscribers here at Cody Tarot. And with that said, I'm going to end the reading there and we'll move on to the next group with the Dark Labradorite Heart. Thank you guys again so much for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye. Hey, group 4. This is if you picked the Labradorite Heart. This lovely, cool heartstone that a friend gave me, actually. Love getting crystals from friends. It's so special. Okay, so let's see. Oracle of the Seven Energies is going to be your first card for this message that you need to hear. Let's see what card wants to come out for group 4. What message do they need to hear today? Let's see. And draw this one. We have Smoke and Mirrors. I'm going to pull another card. The Citadel Fantasy Oracle by Fez Inkwright. That's the deck I'm using right now. Let's see what card needs to come out. Okay, let's see. We have the Hound, Loyalty, Chains, and Promises. Okay, gonna get a Chakra Love card. This is by Katie Manikashaw. I cannot say her last name. Okay, so this is for you guys as well. What card needs to come out for group 4? And we have one. We have Peach Moonstone. I'll show you guys the back of it too. So the back of it looks like this. That color, so maybe that color is significant to you guys right now. But it says, fertility, let your life burst forth from the seeds of creation. And it is Peach Moonstone, so let's move that there. There we go. And I'll draw some tarot cards and we'll get right into your reading. Okay. Just a little side note, I feel called to mention it, but if you guys are ever in my readings, like you're tired of the shuffling, you can just skip to the video where all the cards are laid out, and that's where I usually get into the meat of the reading. So if you don't like waiting for the message, you can feel free to skip ahead. I know a lot of people also love the shuffling, so I like to keep it in. Okay, let's see. What cards want to come out for group 4 for the message they need to hear? What message does group 4 need to hear? We have the Hermit, the 4 of Cups reversed, the 4 of Pentacles upright, the 2 of Cups reversed, and the Queen of Wands upright. Okay. There's a bird outside my house that just started chirping. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so this reading is coming through in bits and pieces. I'm going to go ahead and start reading. I think more information will come to me as I read, so let's get into it. First of all, the main theme of this reading is with the Hermit energy. There's a lot of self-reflection either coming your way now or that you're in currently. I feel like you guys have been trying to get out of this self-reflective mode. I feel like you guys have been like in hermit mode for quite a bit and you're like trying to escape it. It's kind of the vibe that I'm seeing. With Four of Cups here in reverse, I think you kind of really want offers, or like you want someone to offer you something so you can really accept it, right? Four of Cups upright is about receiving an offer and turning it down. Four of Cups in reverse, I'm seeing this as wanting an offer but not receiving the offer, right? So a kind of a yearning for an offer or a yearning for something different. I really do see with smoke and mirrors here, there is a little bit of, I think these offers are coming to you, but I think that when they happen, there's a feeling of something being reflected back to you in like a distorted mirror. So I think that if you branch out and you start to receive offers or you start to manifest offers in your life, it's like they're coming in, but they're not quite, it's interesting. There's a vibe that like, because your intentions are not as clear, how do I put this? Because your intentions are not as clear in the situation, it's like when people bring you these offers or ask you to do things, it's like the situation's not exactly what you expected, maybe not what you wanted, something that seems different than what you're trying to go for. I really see that you guys with the Hermit card here have been really like in introspective mode, really trying to understand what's going on in life, what's going on with yourself, and how you can, I feel like first of all, I feel like you guys have grown and evolved a lot. I feel like you've grown and evolved a lot. I think you guys have really solidified what you believe in as far as your values are concerned and what you want out of life. What direction you want to head in life. I feel like you guys have really been in this introspective mode of like going through it. I just see that like it's not translating in reality. It's like if you try to branch out or you try to get an offer from someone or you try to make an offer happen from someone else into your life, with the smoke and mirrors card here, I definitely see it's like reflecting your new sense of self, but not in the exact way you expected, right? It's kind of like a little bit of your old life is mixed in there as well. And it's kind of that's being reflected back at you. And you're like, no, I'm trying to get away from that. I'm trying to get this new life. I'm trying to get this new sense of self. So I do see you guys are struggling with that just a little bit. One thing with fertility here, it says, let your life burst forth from the seeds of creation. I think the element that is missing here is creativity. Okay, creation is coming through as a strong word, and it is the sacral chakra. I think activating your sacral chakra, working with your sacral chakra could be very beneficial to getting the opportunities in life that you really, really want to have happen. That there's no smoke in this mirror. It's just a clear reflection of what you're looking for in life, right? So to set your goals in motion, I think creation is really important. For example, if you guys believe in manifestation, there's a feeling of using creative methods to manifest. So like painting your manifestation, writing a story about your manifestation, acting out your manifestation, creating a character that you want in your manifestation and acting that character out. Whatever it is, creativity is really the key to creating the life you want, right? Getting creative, creating your reality that you want is only going to happen by you making yourself creative. It's like you have these values, you've been soul searching, you know what you want out of life, but you haven't tapped into your own individual creativity at this time. And I think that the more you tap into that creativity, you guys could be going through a period where it might feel difficult to be creative, but the more you are creative, the better your life gets. You know, that's kind of the vibe that I'm seeing here. I think that more people are going to be approaching you and asking you to do things that are in more alignment with your values the more you start getting creative, right? It's like you set the internal, it's like when an artist creates a painting, right? There's a few steps to this, right? Like first the artist I mean, some artists just paint on a canvas and some stuff comes out. But first you have to have the vessel or the idea for the painting, right? You have to have the concept for the painting. I know that's not how all paintings develop, but just bear with me for this specific example. This is what I'm seeing for you guys. You have to have the idea for the painting. You have to do the inner work, the Hermit card, in order to figure out what you want the painting to turn into, right? An artist that hasn't searched their soul, their work's going to be less meaningful. I'm seeing that you guys have done the soul searching part, but you haven't put the paintbrush to the canvas. And I don't know if that's from you guys not trusting yourselves or something like that. With the Four of Pentacles, I see a little bit of feeling closed off or unexpressive or something, or keeping things to yourself. But with the fertility card and the seeds of creation, you literally creating things is what's going to bring this to life. It's going to change your life. It's going to bring the inner soul searching and the values you've created for yourself, and it's going to make those appear in your outer world. With the Hound, loyalty, chains, and promises, and the Two of Cups, I think that your concepts of relationships, like, I know you guys have done a lot of soul searching and you know what you want and stuff like that. I think that part of this journey outward and creating and stuff, you're going to be learning a lot about relationships. Two of Cups energy reverse talks about thinking about relationships a lot, experiencing them a lot for yourself, maybe not having the outward manifestation of a strong relationship, but definitely thinking about what comprises a strong relationship. And with loyalty, chains, and promises, I think you guys are really evaluating what it means to make a promise and what it means to be loyal to someone, what that loyalty means to you. You could be encountering some Scorpios in your life, because when I think of loyalty, I just think of Scorpios. I don't know why. It just comes up for me that way. Maybe also Cancers as well. But the vibe that I'm getting here for you guys is honestly, with loyalty, I think you're re-evaluating what loyalty means to you and when you need to be loyal in a relationship. With chains here, I also think you guys are thinking about codependency and loyalty versus codependency. You know, what does it mean to be loyal to someone without being codependent on them and relying on them for every single thing and falling apart if they're not in your life, you know? With promises, I think you're evaluating that as well. You're evaluating the concept of a promise, what it means to make a promise. Are you going to keep your promises? Do you want your partner to keep their promises? That sort of thing. It's interesting, some of your creative artworks that you're creating could deal with this dynamic in relationships. So for example, if you are an actor or you are a performer of some kind, or you are creating stories or you're writing of some kind, I'm specifically seeing you're writing about relationship dynamics where loyalty is a key theme, promises are a key theme, and bonds, chains or codependency could be a key theme. Remember, it's going to be different for all of you what your stories you're going to be creating and stuff like that, because we're all individuals. We all have our individual perspectives and individual stories that play out for us. But I do see you creating a lot about relationships in general. So you might write a story about a couple who struggles with being loyal to each other, you know, or you might write a story about relationships like a father and a son, and the father doesn't keep his promises. I'm pretty sure that's like Liar, Liar. It's some Jim Carrey movie, I know. But like basically you're going to be writing stories or acting out stories like that. It could just be acting out scenes, or if you're an actor, getting parts for scenes like that or stories like that, where loyalty is a key theme. I'm also seeing with the Queen of Wands here, this is kind of the ideal state you're going towards, right? Where I think that honestly, like, I'm seeing these like little candles as like all her creative projects, right? And then literally it's like life is in the palm of her hand, you know? That's kind of how I see her right now. And also Queen of Wands, when I traditionally read this card, it usually to me represents a balance between introverted and extroverted energies, the balance between being outward, sunshiny, and social versus the balance between being inward, mysterious, and aloof, right? And so I definitely think you guys are creating this balance of that where you know when to go into each mode at any given time. Like, you know when to shine, you know when to be aloof and mysterious, and I think you guys navigate life especially in that way. I'm almost seeing with the smoke and mirrors that if things seem a little smoky or foggy, I see you guys getting a little more aloof in general. And I see you guys focusing more on your creativity. And then I think when the mirror starts to clear, that's when you guys start to shine and like how to, like, it's almost like you get out of yourself in those ways, or you get out of your own way in a sense, and just live your life, it's interesting. It's possible with the Two of Cups that you might be experiencing some relationships, but I'm not seeing relationships that are this is good and bad news depending on if you have a partner or not, right? Like if you already have a solid, steady partner, you're already in a relationship when you came to this reading, I do see you could be meeting people that could teach you a lot about loyalty and promises as far as like just friendships or companionships or something like that goes versus a relationship, right? Now, if you're looking for a relationship, I do kind of see that you're going to have, maybe if you have these people come into your life, they might be little flings for the time being. I think you guys are most definitely going to have a relationship in the future. I believe most people get a relationship in the future of their lives, a strong connection like that. But in this period of your life, I see a lot of thinking about relationships and analyzing relationships and creating material about relationships more than actually experiencing relationships for yourself and being in the relationship, right? It's like the idea of relationships more than being in a relationship. Yeah, with fertility here, let your life burst forth from the seeds of creation. Like you are literally creating the seeds of your life. I think you guys just, I think that thinking it in your head is one thing. For example, with the Hermit card, you guys have done the soul searching. You know what you want. You know what you want to like see in your life manifest, unfold. It's just a matter of getting creative. And remember, this creativity doesn't necessarily have to be a direct correspondence to your values. You're not writing a list like, oh, I discovered this, I discovered this, I discovered this. It's not like a journaling type of exercise. It's just getting out there and getting creative. So putting the paint to the canvas, whatever gets put on the canvas, that's your expression of your inner soul searching that you did. It might not even have to do with that. It might look totally different. Maybe your inner soul searching is like rainbows and butterflies, and your paint on a canvas is like this devil or demon or something, with like blood oozing out of its ears. I don't know. But I'm saying that like just through the act of creating after doing the soul searching, that's the catalyst that's going to clear away this smoke and the reflection of your reality, bring back those true desires that you want, and clear the air, essentially. It's going to clear the air and bring in those opportunities. And with the Four of Pentacles here, I really see you guys try not to be closed off in your creativity. I'm seeing that there's a natural feeling of wanting to be closed off or wanting to protect. Like, it's almost like wanting to protect your imagination or wanting to protect your inner world or something like that and not share those ideas. But I am saying that if you want your reality, your outer reality to reflect the inner world that you've totally manifested for yourself, and you want that outer world to manifest equally, getting creative with it is going to be beneficial, right? It's literally through the act of creation that it's going to draw in these things into your life that you can live in and feel like your inner values are reflected in your outer world, right? For some of you, with the Two of Cups here, you could be dealing with creating a brand new system of relationships of people that you trust and fully respect, something like that. There could be other feelings of creating that perfect dream job that you want and getting that perfect job offer. Really, this reading is very much about manifestation. I don't know how much now as a reader, I mean, in my older videos, I talk a lot about manifestation, but I don't know how much as a reader right now I put a lot of faith into like manifestation as far as like following methods and systems. But for some reason, this message is coming through for you guys. So it might just be that this is the message that needs to come through. This feels very much like a technique for manifestation, this message to you guys. So maybe you really do need to hear that. I know manifestation does really work for some people. For me, I've noticed I get like certain lessons in life that I need that maybe not necessarily that I asked for, if that makes sense. But yeah, for you guys, I'm seeing this very nice back and forth. And I definitely think that like, when you get to this stage where you've had all these creations and you've been creative a little bit, I think that's where life, with this woman here, I feels like that's where you feel like life is in the palm of your hand, right? Like you can hold your entire world. And there's a feeling of like happiness and control and being aware of your environment. And enjoying your environment is the key word here. I think that it's not going to feel like disturbing or dark or, and it might even be that like maybe you want a disturbing or dark environment, right? I don't know what your dream is to have around you. I just know that like creativity is going to really bring this to you. And for my example, I'm going back to this example of light and dark because I'm really seeing this here. If you're the hermit, your values are like rainbows and butterflies, right? You want a light and happy and preppy world. With fertility here, with the sacral chakra, say you start creating and all your creations are really dark and disturbing, keep creating, that's okay. What I'm seeing here is that you might attract, even though you're creating these disturbing things, you might attract people who admire them, and those people are very light and fluffy, but for some reason they're attracted to your creations, right? So whatever it is that you're trying to manifest, and that's just in a very extreme black and white example, say your inner world values are about, I'm trying to think, like maybe they're about, relationships or love or something, or you're coming to terms with values about love. Although I am seeing you do creating things about relationships, it could be that your creativity right here, if it's about love, right? Maybe your creativity is all math and numbers. Maybe you're being creative and like you use a lot of numbers in your art, or you're starting to get into numerology and art through numerology, something like that. So, it could be something like that. Whatever it comes out of it, you might actually attract more relationships through the numerology aspect. So it really could be anything. It doesn't necessarily have to be a direct reflection of your inner world. The outer reality could be different, So for example, your inner world maybe going through this tough time, this was a tough time, right? Like going through the hermit mode was a tough time. And you had this, like, you had dark, intense thoughts and you really came to the end of it and it was grit and determination. And maybe your creativity is like butterflies and rainbows, I hope that makes sense, you guys. I think it does. My laundry just went off, which is kind of a confirmation to me that you guys get the point. So hopefully you guys get the point. Anyway, I think that about covers it for your reading. This is the message meant to find you today, so I hope you guys enjoyed it or it resonated on some level. With that said, I'm going to end the reading there, and I really enjoyed reading for you guys. If you like the reading, please like or comment below. If you really enjoyed the reading, feel free to subscribe to the channel. And with that said, I'm going to bid you guys adieu, and I'll move on to the last group with the Azurite. Thank you and again so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys later. Bye. Hello, group 5. This is if you picked the Azurite. So this lovely stone right here. Let's get into your reading. Last group. I took breaks tonight, guys, so I'm not as tired as I normally am after I finish these. I took some breaks in between piles, and it helped a little bit. So I might have to incorporate that into making more content in the future. Okay, anyways, maybe that applies to your life in some way as well. So let's see, what Oracle of the Seven Energies card by Colette Baron Reed needs to come out for group 5. We have Wish Upon a Star. And then we're going to get a Citadel Fantasy Oracle by Fez Inkwright. And let's get one card for group 5. About Oracle card needs to come through for that. But we have the Sailor, New Influences and Wanderlust. And then we're going to get a Chakra Love card. I cannot pronounce the creator's name for this deck, but it's really cool. It has these hand-painted cards, or hand-drawn cards. Let me try and pronounce it. I'm going to try and pronounce it. Okay. Katie Manikashaw. Manikashaw. Yeah. Anyway, let's see what card wants to come out for you guys. Let's see, we have this card. I think this is Larimar. Yes, got it right. Okay. Anyway, that's the Larimar. That's the color for it. And the card is Listening. If you want to be heard, learn to listen. And it's dealing with the throat chakra. So let's get some tarot cards for you guys, and then we'll get right into your reading. Lots of blues in this reading. The Azurite's pretty blue. You have the throat chakra. Wish Upon a Star is really blue. The Sailor, I think the waves are blue. No, they're black, I think, actually. Black. But still, fish, water, ocean, blue. I'm kind of getting a strong theme of vastness, especially with the Star card and the Sailor card. Okay, so let's see what's coming through, what message needs to come through for group 5 in today's reading. We have 4 of Swords, 7 of Wands reversed, 3 of Cups reversed, the Magician reversed, and the Ace of Swords reversed. Okay. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. This came up in one of the last groups about manifestation, but it's having a hard time putting my finger on it, but it's actually coming up in this reading. So this card, the Sailor, New Influences and Wanderlust with the Magician reversed, this is a great concept of how manifestations even begin to form in the first place, right? The universe throws us things for us to experience. It doesn't just like come from our brain and then go to the universe. It's like a give and take energy, right? It's like the universe informs our manifestations and our manifestations inform the universe, right? With the Sailor card here, the New Influences and Wanderlust, I see you guys kind of exploring your reality and like different things, not necessarily actively exploring, just different things coming into your reality that create you to think of like, well, maybe I want to manifest this and maybe I want to manifest this, right? Because the Magician talks about an idea. So part of this reading, I haven't looked over the rest of the reading yet. I'm still going to take another pause and look it over. But I just want to get into this real quick because it came into my head and I really want to talk about it. With the Sailor energy here, there's a strong vibe of just encountering experiences where it says new influences and wanderlust, literally new influences in your life that are going to change the way of like things that you want out of life, change the way that you desire certain things out of life. With wanderlust here, there's just strong energy of like exploring and enjoying the fact that life is throwing you all these different experiences, right? That you never could have thought you could have had, you know? I think that a lot of these experiences are things you haven't even thought about, or if you did, it was like in brief passing. It wasn't anything you really focused on or tried to manifest in your reality. These are new experiences that you maybe have never thought you would experience in your life, and all of a sudden here you are experiencing them and you're enjoying it. And it's like, what the heck? Like, now I want to manifest more of this into my life, right? So this could also, to be fair, could come from a manifestation you made of like wanting to try new things, wanting to see new places, wanting to explore, wanting to have new experiences. So that could be a possibility, but I am saying that these new experiences are informing your ideas of like, well, what do I want to manifest, right? Like maybe you've never been on an airplane, right? And your first time you get an experience to go on an airplane, right? And then maybe you just love flying, like you love being on that airplane. And so with the Magician here reversed, you start to think like, where else could I go in the world, right? Or maybe you find a book of like world places and you're looking at pictures and you're like, wow, this place looks so cool, or this looks so cool. So it gives you this idea to start or want to take a trip somewhere or do some kind of trip in a, like, does that make sense? Like the experience you're encountering, whether you thought of it or not, I'm pretty sure you guys haven't thought of it, honestly. Whatever the experience is, it's informing what you want to manifest. It's like getting the experience and then realizing you want something from that experience. It could also be wanting something different than that experience. That's also a possibility as well. You guys could be pretty soon experiencing all these new and different things and then realizing from it, you know what, I don't want to experience that. I think that because I don't like that, I would rather experience this. And then that's where the idea gets formulated and that's where the desire comes from to have that experience, right? That could be another possibility. Let me look over more cards. So there's some stuff here that I haven't really figured out yet. Let me look it up real quick. Yeah, this is so interesting. This is so crazy. Okay, so with Wish Upon a Star, stars in tarot and in my experience with tarot represent navigation. They represent direction, right? I think that like, it's funny, we have the tower and the star right after the tower. It's like the tower represents the crumbling of the foundation that wasn't built on a secure foundation, so it's crumbling to the ground. But what's next after that is like a direction, like you need to go somewhere, you know, you need to like create a new understanding. It's like with Wish Upon a Star, or wish with anything with relating to stars. I mean, we have some star energy here in this card too. We have these 3 friends looking at these stars. I think that's the Big Dipper or the Little Dipper. But with stars, it talks about direction. Wish upon a star, in this case, is reminding me of finding your direction and holding it close to your heart, right? I also see that this person here is a child. One thing that I'm seeing here is that you could feel very innocent with this new piece of information, right? And you could start to act as if you were a child when you get this information. It's like the thing that's coming in the message that the reading wants to tell you is that you could be finding a new direction in life, right? I am seeing with Four of Swords, you guys have been really taking it easy, really recovering, really relaxing, taking your time out of life. But I am seeing a new direction, a new path forward, a new destiny, right? A new stepping stone on your life path, right? So with Wish Upon a Star, I see this child holding the star so close, this child right here, holding the star so close to its chest. And it's this dream or this hope or this feeling for the future that you have. There's a strong indication that it's going to make you feel like a child again. So for example, depending on how you were as a kid, you're going to be acting more childlike when it comes to this dream or desire. So for example, if as a child you were a selfish child, maybe you were like, you hoarded all your toys and you've grown up and you've become more generous maybe, but maybe when you started as a child, you were more selfish in general, right? This is going to lead you back to that childhood state of being more, possessive of your things, right? Say you were a really generous child when you were a kid. This holding on to this dream is actually going to make you want to share it with others, right? Like immediately you're going to want to start sharing this with other people, so it's taking you back to that sense of innocence, right? This new passion, this new dream, this new way forward. It's taking you back to that sense of innocence. And however you acted in that sense of innocence, you're going to be acting when it comes to this dream. I feel like some of you too, like for my my ex-bullies who learned that they were being mean and they stopped being bullies, that kind of thing. I feel like you guys might feel like getting really aggressive about this passion or wanting to protect it at all costs, or maybe being even like antagonistic or mean to people who are against this type of passion, right? So for example, maybe you discover a new passion for spirituality, right? Maybe you're very like, mean to you start thinking mean thoughts to people who aren't into spirituality, right? That whatever this is, whatever personality you were like as a child, this dream is taking you back to that original state of being. It's reuniting you with your sense of innocence, right? And so whatever state of being that was that you were a kid in, maybe you were a really shy kid, right? So this sense of passion is making you actually really shy about it. You don't know how to engage with it, right? It makes you nervous, right? So whatever the state of passion is, or whatever dream this is, it's reuniting you with your inner child as well. We have 39 here, which I think boils down to a 3. Yeah, it boils down to a 3. This also talks about creativity. A lot of you, this passion is going to be something creative. I also see with the 7 of Wands in reverse here, this dream or this thing you're identifying with that's taking you back to your childhood is also making you feel like you are one with everyone else. Like there's a vibe of losing your uniqueness or your specialness in this regard and kind of blending in with other people, feeling a part of a larger whole, that kind of thing. And I think it's interesting because Wish Upon a Star means that this is something close to your like this child's holding this star to their chest, or their vest. It's like close to the vest. I don't know the expression if it's close to the vest or close to the chest, but this is something really close to you, right? But it's interesting because you're so one with everyone else. Like this is a very passionate but also dream-like quality. I feel like you guys are one with everyone else. This woman in reverse has a bubble. She's protected and shielded from other people. She's on a different level than other people. In the reverse, she's one with all. There's no resistance. There's no feeling different than someone else. There's a feeling of we're all the same. It's all one big giant human family. That's kind of the vibe that I'm getting. And a lot of this could come from some kind of dream state or realization in a dream that you possibly had. This reading's kind of tailored into 3 separate sections, this section, and this section in general. But they do interrelate. When I was talking about this section earlier, I know I opened with this section with the Wanderlust, the Magician. I think you're going to have this new path forward and you're going to be in this childlike state. And at the same time, even though you know you want this on your path or you have your path forward, the universe will still be sending you other opportunities and other things that are things that you've never experienced before, new things, right? And then that's what's going to trigger this wanting to manifest these new things in your life, right? There's a strong vibe of getting re-motivated, feeling of being re-motivated, especially if this Four of Swords. I see that you guys took your time to rest. You had your time where you recovered, and now it's time to like get back out there is kind of what I'm seeing. And I am seeing with the Seven of Wands, your ideas and stuff will be received pretty positively. Now, I do want to point out during this time, there's going to be some situations with listening here, and this could be happening now. Actually, this I'm feeling strongly. This message could be something that's happening now. It says listening. If you want to be heard, learn to listen. With these three friends, I am seeing something going on with two other people, or just a close friendship in general. Three of Cups just in general talks about friendships. But if you want to be heard or you want people to, I'm specifically hearing follow what you tell them. If you want people to listen to your advice, you have to do the opposite and you have to listen to them. Even if you don't take their advice, just listening to people will make them more inclined to follow what you have to tell them to do or what you have to say, right? So if you want to be heard, learn to listen. I am thinking this is really powerful right now because even though you're feeling really one with everyone else and one of the group and one of the universe in essence, right now, they're kind of like a key component into like also achieving this state as well. But a key component with some of your friends, I really feel you have some friends in your life that really want to say something to you and they're trying to find the words to say it and they're having a difficult time. Wearing blue stones with the throat chakra around your friends could be beneficial. Specifically, I know like sodalite, lapis lazuli, other stones like that, blue stones. I've never worked with blue lace agate in this department, but I know sodalite and lapis lazuli can help with this. But wearing blue stones around your friends when they're trying to communicate with you can help you hear them. And I mean, we have Larimar here, so I'm going to mention Larimar as well. This card is represented by Larimar. But your friends have something really important they want to tell you, and I feel like you haven't been giving them the time, or you haven't really sat down to truly listen to what they need to say. And so one thing that I'm seeing is if you want to be heard, or you want your advice to be heard, I really think that if you listen to these friends, and I'm seeing really close friends with Three of Cups here, these could be really close friends, listening to what they need to tell you. And then in that regard, you will, once you've fully heard the story, you can tell them your piece, right? This is giving me vibes of situations where you're at a party with people and you're talking to them and they're like, let me finish my story. And then you can interrupt, that kind of vibe. Like people who kind of want to tell the whole story first before there's any interruptions. I'm seeing this will be very beneficial for your communication if you just hold back any interjections, any impulses to interrupt, fully listen to them until their story is done and they turn the attention back to you. I really think this is going to facilitate much clearer communication between you and your close ones, honestly. I am seeing a bond in these friendships, and I'm seeing a rift being healed with these friendships if you communicate in this way. I think it doesn't always have to be this way, but for this specific way, I feel like there's just a lot of people trying to talk, trying to get their point across, and not a lot of people listening. And sometimes that's what happens in conflict, you know? Two people are trying to say something to each other, or trying to teach one another, or something like that. And really, one person just needs to listen, and then the other person needs to listen, and there's an alternation thing that needs to happen. I am seeing that happening. I am seeing with the stars here, this is also on your path. There's a lot of symbology with stars. Yeah. Even with the sailor energy, I'm thinking of sailors and following their North Stars. There's a lot of feeling of direction in this reading, like finding your direction. So if you're feeling very directionless when you came to this reading, and you really were drawn to this pile, this is your sign you're going to have some kind of direction coming up in your life, for sure, definitely. New experiences are going to help you facilitate getting this direction. So I would say accept new experiences. If people invite you to something that you normally wouldn't do, and you're just like, well, why not? I'll try it. Especially if you're in the mood for it and your intuition, your feelings are pushing you towards that. Don't hesitate just because your thoughts are telling you, oh, you might not like that. You've never done that before. I say do it. The Sailor is a great card for new influences and wanderlust, right? And with Wish Upon a Star, I do think you have some kind of dream that you're holding close to your heart. And I really think this is actually connecting you with other people on a very much a stronger level at this time. With the Ace of Swords, I'll cover the last card here. With the Ace of Swords, you might not be having like intellectual epiphanies as much in this period as just as much fantasies and dreams and ideas from these new experiences, right? I feel like logic might be a little befuddled coming up in this period of time. So, that might be bad news for people who use logic in a career or something like that. But with Ace of Swords in reverse, it talks about stimulating ideas in other people as well. So there could be a vibe, especially with this friend group here, where you are actually, when you learn to listen, or when you're listening first and then speaking and letting them listen and then speaking, right? And fully listening to what that person is saying and understanding it and really absorbing it for what it is. I think that when you speak to them, you can cause intellectual epiphanies in them, right? Get them on a new path, get them on a new direction, right? All because you found your direction, And so one of the things that I'm hearing is like, because you found your direction, you can help other people find theirs, but you still need to learn this listening skill, right? The listening skill is going to be really beneficial, And remember, when you're helping other people find their direction, it might not be necessarily in the same direction you're going, or it might not be the same exact dream you have, You might find out that one of your friends has this epiphany to have a dream that, is very like different than yours, and that's okay. Everyone has their own dreams and their own path, doesn't mean you guys still can't be friends. You'll just have different passions or different hobbies or something like that. But I think I'm going to end the reading there. Thank you guys again so much for letting me read for you. It was an honor. It was a pleasure. I really appreciate you being here and clicking on this video today. And if you guys like the reading, please like or comment below. And if you really enjoyed the reading, feel free to subscribe to the channel. We're always welcoming new subscribers here at Cody Tarot. And with that said, I'll see you guys in the next pick a card. Thanks for watching.